Back to crypto market shenanigans with the top coins of the day, again being AI coins. Actually, now that I've refreshed it again, a couple of other coins in the top are actually meme coins. Look at SPX and BRET. I mean, Fartcoin is also a meme, AI, meme, whatever you want to call it, but it's kind of interesting that still, again, Bitcoin is quite neutral. It's up because we're back at about 97,000 or so, so it's up, doing good, but quite neutral, with a lot of coins being up significantly more than it. And remember, guys, when we talk of an altcoin season, we often dub it as a spot where most altcoins outperform Bitcoin, not where everything goes crazy. And that's the funny thing, right? A lot of people forget that the real altcoin season, all it really means is that generally speaking, altcoins would have been a better choice than Bitcoin would have been. Now, because I'm talking about an altcoin season here, there's an interesting post that I just saw. We're about to witness the biggest altcoin season we have ever seen, and meme coins will play a huge role in it. Some guys will be right, BONK will be right, all the names, I'm not sure if you guys know them. And all the other legends who posted their blue chip meme coin, yada, yada, yada. The general point being, it doesn't really matter what you hold, as long as you sit on your diamond hands and don't diversify or rotate spot bags, study one chair theory. Now, the general gist of this one being that if you just hold one altcoin, really, or just 5, and you do not give up, you do not sell, generally speaking, because the altcoin season goes that wild, you are better off holding probably that altcoin than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is going to go up like crazy, so you're probably going to make a ton of freaking gains. Is that a guarantee? No, can't be doing that. And I'm also not a big fan of just holding one coin till the freaking moon, but there have been meme coins where if I look at my overall crypto portfolio, one specific meme held up more than 10% of it, sometimes even 20% of it. And another edge to that is that some of the memes have been from basically nothing to hundreds of thousands, and I did not sell any single cent because I'm just expecting it to still do like a 10x or so over the next few weeks to months. And that brings me back to a thing I've covered multiple times throughout the last few weeks here, and that is the idea that things will really start moving pretty fast, funny enough, when they start moving. So when we're taking a look at coins like, let me quickly shift it better into perspective. We could just look at it like this. When we look at coins like XRP, the moment they start going, they'll go pretty crazy pretty fast. It's just waiting for that moment for the switch to flip. But anyway, if I look at the comments section today, I would say the majority of people, right, the most common question of the day was when to sell. And my response is always the same. You can quickly sell for some profit at, for example, key levels. Like right now, for example, we're at a really important threshold. Over the next 1.5 hours, we're going to be getting ourselves the daily close. And this daily close will be depending on where we end up, right? If we end up above 232 for XRP, that is extremely bullish because now the downtrend is broken and an uptrend has been started. But again, we still have a few hours to go, about 1.5 hours for us to know for certain. But having said that, yeah, you could sell, for example, before that happens, or you could have the idea that, you know what, I only want to sell at key resistances. So, for example, you wanted to sell the moment it got to $2.50, for example, because it's an important psychological barrier. Or you could say, you know what, you want to sell at the next top here, for example, $2.57. There's also people who say, you know what, since I was able to buy at $1.99 a few days ago, I want to sell that at 10% profit, or I want to sell that when I've doubled my money. You can see here, we're up 140% on our trade, $10,000. Yeah, a lot of people would just cash it out right now because they've done pretty well on their investment. But before we move on, there's a project launching very, very soon here that I think is very interesting. And as we're on the topic of altcoin season and all that, I thought, hey, let's quickly give it a little look, huh? There's a project called Sonic, and it's basically the first SVM chain to launch on Solana. It's built with Sonic Hypergrid, a framework for orchestrating optimistic Solana rollups. Now, if that sounds too difficult, SVM stands for Solana Virtual Machine, and in this case here, it's basically there to act as a base for games and applications. I mean, one of the things I recently made a post on over on X was this specific thing here. Sonic is the home of Sonic X, the industry's first Web3 TikTok app layer, onboarding the next billion users, hopefully. And the token powering their whole entire ecosystem will be Sonic. But you gotta understand, it's not just one specific app of sorts or app layer. No, through this framework, there's gonna be a lot of different stuff, all with $Sonic as the background. Here you can go check out the distribution if you want. I'd say the distribution numbers are one thing, but more important is always how they're going to be emitted, at what rate. But in this case here, over the next 6 years, with no team and investors getting tokens for the first 12 to 18 months. And just like I was saying, it's basically going to be used for quite a lot, for a whole broader ecosystem. They stated it's not just a token, it's basically a fuel for the entire ecosystem, with different things like governance, staking, payments, validator delegation. And if you're wondering when exactly does the token go live, on January 7th, so in just a few days, on a couple different exchanges. And perhaps if you actually acted the moment that I started posting about it over on X, as I said, hey, they're doing this TikTok thing, yada, 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 you might be able to claim yourself a little airdrop of sorts. So make sure you check that out as well, as their snapshot, I believe, was on December 31st. And I posted well before that, but I double checked. And here it says the eligible Sonic airdrop receivers have been determined by the snapshot, but there's a last opportunity to qualify for the airdrop today until January 6th. So you can still go check it out. I've made a post about it over on Twitter. I will link it down below as well. Anyway, but it's just a cool opportunity for an airdrop. That's why I'm sharing it here real quick. Everybody in that sense is different, because I keep relating back to the idea that with all these coins, if you think about it from a broader market, from a multi-month perspective, I believe all of them, most of them, will do 10x if not more. And so wherever you sell right now, it's all intermediary sales. It's all selling right now to either buy back cheaper, or because you're not really happy with the risk at the moment, because you expect something to fall down, or you just want to diversify into something new. That's why you want to sell one coin for the other. But generally speaking, I'm not really too fond of selling. And people keep asking me, well, but when do you know when it's going to top out? Well, you don't really know. I've covered 1,000 different times where in the market, so I should say where in the time slots, time zone, where in the time frame, let's call it like that, we believe the market will top out. I'm just going to say that theoretically speaking, from today on forward, you could start selling very small bits every single day. I'm talking, for example, 1% of your entire portfolio. But if you want to be slightly more accurate, most likely it will be better to actually wait another 4 months or so and then start cashing out. The thing is, though, I had told myself back in 2022, maybe 2021 actually already, I think when we saw that, no, I'm going to say 2022 somewhere, when we were basically at peak lows, I basically said to myself, Bitcoin will come back around for like crazy. XRP will, XLM will, most of these coins will. But I should probably just sell them at some point, just like how a friend of mine topped the 69,000 in 2021. He predicted that top, basically. He said, and this is one of the most important things, that the most, I guess the best thing you could do is just sell 1% every single day of 2025. And that was back in 2021 or 2022, somewhere around that time. But now, and I've already predicted this a few times in videos, that we're in 2025, it looks like the top is just that far away, right? But you'll probably always keep thinking that. You'll probably always keep thinking, theoretically speaking, never be able to time it perfectly, but you don't need to. I'll just teach you some lessons that I've learned throughout time. One of them being, it's probably wise to sell before you think it will top out, but you kind of got to wing it a little bit. And what I mean with that is right now, if we're looking at the market, for a lot of coins, we've not even breached the all-time high. We've still got probably at least a 10x to go for many of the top coins. Ethereum hasn't passed the all-time high yet. In my opinion, this is way too early. But if you're mostly a Bitcoin holder, you're up like 50% from the previous all-time high. From that perspective, well, yeah, it could be quite solid to let go. But for altcoins, no, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think we're close at all. Matter of fact, just yesterday, I described why I think like a 10x on a lot of different fields. It's just really easy for coins like XRP, XLM, and many of them alike. But if we just start going down the rankings here, there are so many coins that I really see doing some massive numbers over the next few months. And you know, want to know another funny thing? You know what you could do in bull markets? In real crazy bull markets, you can seriously just buy whatever's down like 10%, 5% throughout the day. You buy it that day, hoping that most likely it happens, right? But expecting the price to start bouncing back up. Now, Hype is a very new coin. I wouldn't say it's the same sort of situation, but we described it for virtual as well. You know, $2, well, incredibly cheap, and now it's $4 some. I think it's setting new all-time highs, right? But the same for Fart Coin, the same for a ton of coins in this list. If you just religiously buy the dip, even for XRP, I told you at $2, right? 2 days ago. If you just religiously buy the dip, I think it's kind of hard to lose. It's just, again, the moment you lose confidence, the moment you start doubting yourself, that's when you start selling the bottom and not, again, buying it because you're afraid or because you've run out of money. But that again comes back to my earlier question of when to sell. Well, if you're running out of money, then sometimes it is nice to cash some out to get yourself in a better position to buy another good opportunity. But that's again a matter of the less cash you have, the more selective you got to be with your opportunities. But the way I see it is I'm kind of risking it to the biscuit because I do not believe we'll see another massive crash of sorts. We could have some sort of flash crash. We could have some sort of bad times. But I think overall, with my risk management, the way I'm doing it right now, I'll be fine. And if a really big dip happens, I'll make sure to find some money from somewhere. And you just keep rotating by selling some of your position all the time. For example, every day, every few days, whatever, or whenever you hit these milestones, so you can buy back in cheaper and just keep the machine rolling. Having said that, guys, if you also want to trade crypto, I've left a link down below to Blowfin or WeX. If it's not working for you, take a look at it with a VPN and make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it already. My hair's getting crazy. I know, I keep seeing comments about it, but who cares when your coins are doing well?